Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Julie Reyes, the chairperson for Community Board 8. Just want to introduce the panel up here. We'll start off with the vice chair.
Oh, myself?
Yes, we're going to introduce the panel.
Oh, the panel. Oh, Sergio here, but nice to see you. I'm your first panelist.
Yeah.
And vice chair. And vice chair.
Scott Bronfenheimer, treasurer.
Hi, Farah Rubin. I am the district manager of Community Board 8.
Okay, so we'll start off the meeting with advising who is approved with extraordinary circumstances for this evening. And that would be Deb Travis and Marty Walposs and Chuck Murdoch. And we'll go on to the public gallery session during the general board meeting for the people on Zoom, unless you've signed up to be a speaker. Each speaker gets 3 minutes, and we have 5 speakers for this evening. The first speaker will be Sue Ellen Dodell.
Sue Ellen, I asked you to unmute.
Yes. Can you hear me?
You'll have to speak loud for everyone to hear.
Okay, let me, is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Sue Ellen Dodell. I'm a resident of North Riverdale, and I worked as a lawyer and administrative law judge for the city for 44 years. I'm here to ask for your support for the resolution which was adopted by the Aging Committee on October 12th. The resolution asks our city council members to support Intro 1099, which adds 2 sentences to the administrative code. The first sentence provides that the city must offer at least 1 Medigap plan to its retirees, and the second sentence provides that nothing in the legislation will interfere with the city union's ability to collectively bargain for their employee members. The resolution also asks the council to bring Intro 1099 to the floor for a vote. Community boards have, of course, supported council legislation in the past, and several community boards already have adopted this particular resolution. For more than 50 years, city employees have been promised traditional Medicare.
Please just come in. Jesus, help me.
Literally just need to wait miles.
For more than 50 years, city employees have been promised traditional Medicare along with a supplemental plan when they retire. And now the city wants to take that away and put us into an inferior Medicare Advantage plan with prior authorizations and narrow networks. The mayor is doing this because of a Ponzi scheme. In 2014, the Municipal Labor Committee, a group of the city's largest labor unions, took money from the city's health stabilization fund and used it to pay for teacher raises, and they've never paid it back. In order to do so now, the mayor and the unions have tried to take away health care from vulnerable retirees, including 9/11 heroes. If we're forced into the so-called Medicare Advantage plan, we will lose access to our doctors, hospitals, and treatments. This literally is a matter of life and death. New York City retirees have been fighting for 2 years in the courts to keep our earned Medicare benefits from being stripped away, and we've had 7 court decisions in our favor. But litigation is expensive, and retirees live on fixed incomes. We've been financing our lawsuits ourselves with small contributions, and the city keeps appealing our wins in court. Some council members are telling us to wait until the lawsuits conclude, but lawsuits can drag on for years. That's why we need Intro 1099 to protect us now. I ask that you not stand idly by and refuse to help your fellow residents of Community Board 8. We are hurting and afraid while we lose access to our doctors and battle serious diseases. We need your help to ensure that traditional Medicare remains in place. If New York City moves ahead with this, other states and cities across the country will follow, and it will hasten the end of traditional Medicare. Please don't let the city privatize retirees' health care by placing it in the hands of a for-profit corporation who has an incentive to maximize the subsidy from the federal government and minimize costs expended for the health care of city retirees. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. And if you have any questions later in the meeting, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Questions for now?
No questions during gallery session. The next speaker is Deirdre Burke.
Deirdre, I've asked you to unmute.
She's having computer problems. She's going to try to do it by phone.
Okay, maybe we'll go to the next speaker then and come back.
Rob Spalter.
All righty. Good evening. My name is Rob Spalter. Tonight, I'm speaking as chair of the Broadway Community Alliance. The Broadway Community Alliance, or BCA, is an all-volunteer civic group. We formed in 2013 to address quality of life issues on and along the Broadway corridor in North. We are in strong support of the School Construction Authority's plan to replace the Van Cortlandt Motel with a new 547-seat elementary school located at 6389 Broadway. Children will benefit greatly from being located across from Van Cortlandt Park, where they will be able to easily participate in many recreational, educational, and environmental programs, including the unique history of the Enslaved Peoples Project, sponsored by the Van Cortlandt Museum. We believe this school will help alleviate overcrowding as a result of recent new affordable housing construction on Broadway. Additionally, this school will help with overcrowding resulting from the new state-mandated class size reduction, providing the additional classrooms needed by the 2027-2028 school year. As part of our support for the Broadway community, last week, a delegation from BCA met at the W, located at 6355 Broadway, with Dr. Vernon Brown, senior administrator, and several of his staff to discuss issues raised at last month's Education Committee meeting. Dr. Brown was very receptive to partnering with BCA to create a community advisory board, as we had previously established with the Riverdale Manor to address quality of life issues. What we learned was that the widely reported allegation that an attempted break-in was perpetrated by a resident of the W was inaccurate.
I can't hear and I can't unmute myself.
You're on, D. Just let me finish. That was inaccurate. By reviewing the video footage with the 50th precinct, it was determined that the perpetrator was not a resident of the W. These adult home residents are screened and will not be admitted if they have criminal records, sexual predator status, drug or alcohol addiction. We also learned that referrals are no longer being accepted from psychiatric hospitals and are primarily from nursing homes and the community. We will be reaching out to the local community and businesses to join our community advisory board. In closing, we believe this new school will be an asset to our families and our community. Please vote to support the Education Committee resolution. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Rob. And I stand corrected. Sorry, we wanted to ask you to bring her back. Board members do ask questions of the gallery session. My mistake. Do you want me to bring her back?
No.
She's going to stay on all night. Okay. Do you have any questions for Rob? Okay. Stand corrected on that. So our next speaker, we'll try to get Deirdre back. She was going to try to call in.
Okay. She just told me he's not hearing you.
She's not.
Yeah, no problem when we need you. Unmute her. Let's see.
Unmute her.
Yeah.
You can unmute Deirdre Burke.
I can't hear the meeting. I can see it, but I can't hear it. Okay. Whenever they want me to talk, I will. Hello?
Just talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Did you let everyone in? No.
Marty, could you?
Okay. Hi. Good evening,
Yeah.
Good evening, Community Board 8. My name is Deirdre Burke, and I am speaking in favor of the Aging Committee resolution advocating for the City Council to consider legislation to protect retirees and retirees' health care. We were promised, as Sue Dodell said, we were promised this in years and years in lieu of raises and in lieu of other considerations. It affects 250,000 New York City retirees at this time, but the issue has a much broader effect on the rest of the country and the rest of retirees. The federal government is losing as much as $140 billion a year by subsidizing private Medicare Advantage plans. These plans cost a lot of money and they're depleting the Medicare fund. Medicare Advantage plans deny care, and by denying care, they save money. But they also cost the Medicare fund an enormous amount, up to $140 billion a year. They do this in a number of ways. They pre-select the healthiest of participants. They upcode to charge more. And report after report.
Yeah, but I really like their spinach rolls.
Hello?
Mute.
Hello?
Deirdre?
Deirdre, sorry, can you unmute yourself again?
Asked to unmute.
I did.
Okay.
Everyone's supposed to be muted when they come
Well, I asked her to unmute.
in. I know.
Deep work. She is.
Yeah. Deirdre, can you unmute yourself?
Do we have any more speakers?
Louis Kaminsky.
Lou, L-E-W.
Is there a Louis Kaminsky
You can
on
ask.
Zoom? If you can unmute yourself.
There he is.
Hi. Mic check.
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks so much to the board, and good evening, everybody. My name is Louis Kaminsky. I'm a resident of Spuyten Duyvil. I grew up in the neighborhood. My mother still lives in the neighborhood. She's been a public school teacher at RKA for many years, and I'm here this evening, like a couple folks who've spoken previously, in support of the Aging Committee's resolution to support the City Council bill that would protect New York City retirees' access to Medicare, which is incredibly important, not just for them, but as Ms. Burke was just saying, for the broader question of Medicare's ongoing viability. We know that the city has said that one of the main reasons that they want to undertake this project of putting retirees off of their promised benefits and into this private health insurance plan is that it was going to save the city some amount of money. We don't have to guess where that money would come from, because we know from the litigation record that lawyers for the health insurance companies have said point blank that they will probably deny care as a means of reducing costs. When I was working for many years as a policy advisor to Congressman Engel, you would hear an expression, a budget is a moral document. What that means is that governments spend money on things that they know are important, and you can tell what a government might not consider to be quite as important because they might try to save money doing it. I think it's a tragedy that we're having this fight over promised benefits on behalf of people who have spent their careers working on behalf of this city. I would thank the Aging Committee for advancing this resolution to the Community Board. I would ask the Community Board to vote in favor of the Aging Committee's resolution, and I hope that the City Council does indeed pass this bill to protect retirees. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Louis. We have a Christina Carlson. I see.
Yep. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Good evening. At the September 2022 Land Use Committee meeting, the Kingsbridge community got its first look at the proposed development plan for the former visitation site at 160 Van Cortlandt Park South. We were shocked and dismayed, both at the size and scope of the plan, which were out of proportion to the neighborhood, as well as the fact that community members had no opportunity for input into a building project that stood to impact us profoundly. As many of you know, I, as well as some of my neighbors, came to Community Board 8 for answers and assistance. It was heartening to hear that many of your members shared our concerns, especially about the school design, which seemed to be sacrificing functionality and good design for size. Because Tishman Speyer holds their property as of right, there was little to be done with that aspect of the proposal. But despite the limited time frame afforded us with a November 14th deadline to file, we decided to bring an Article 78 against the School Construction Authority and the City Council. Tonight, on the one-year anniversary of that filing, I'm happy to report that the Bronx County Supreme Court agreed with our position. They voided the negative declaration and determined that SCA must complete an environmental impact statement for the site. In her decision, the Honorable Letitia Ramirez wrote that the negative declaration was, quote, without a rational basis, in error of law, arbitrary and capricious, in abuse of discretion, and is the product of a violation of a lawful procedure. We are gratified by the court's decision and relieved that a halt has been put to a plan that would have negatively impacted the community in terms of traffic and parking, sanitation and sewage, environment and public safety, just to name a few. It is our hope that the EIS will address these issues and provide a more realistic sense of the true environmental impact of a new school, and that SCA will revise its design accordingly. The court's decision also creates an opportunity for the community to have the input into the school's design that we were previously denied. We hope that CB8 will hold SCA accountable to adhere to open meeting law, and we look forward to being able to participate fully in public hearings on this critical issue. We know that the members of Community Board 8 want the children who would be served by this school to be safe and have adequate space to gather, play, and learn, and also want a school that reflects, enhances, and protects the unique environmental features of the neighborhood, including Van Cortlandt Park and the Tibbetts Brook Daylighting Project. We all knew SCA could do better, and now the court has confirmed that. The residents of Kingsbridge stand ready to work alongside our representatives on Community Board 8 to make the most of the opportunity afforded us by the court's decision, to ensure that SCA does its due diligence in creating a new school design that will reflect the true needs of the community. I'm available to speak with the new board chair at her convenience to discuss how we might move forward. I look forward to that conversation and to working together to serve the needs of this community and its children. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, I just want to check with Deirdre Burke. Before I do that, I'm going to check with Sylvia. You had a question? I mean, not Sylvia. I'm looking right at you, Rosemary.
Rosemary. They said something about me, I think.
Yeah, Deirdre, she's on.
Okay,
hello?
No.
Let her.
Rosemary,
Thank
you have the floor.
Hang on, Deidre.
It feels like longer than a year ago that this lawsuit started. It feels ages ago. That's an amazing decision. Could we ask that we get a copy of the decision for anyone on the board who would like to read it? I certainly would like to read what the court said about this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does the speaker have the index number?
Christina? Oh, you're muted. She's muted.
Yes, thank you. You're doing the thing where I can't unmute until you give me permission to. Yes. The index number is 5648/2022.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm happy to send a copy to the community board if you would like me to do that.
Sounds great. We'll be in touch then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I just want to go back to Deirdre because I know you got cut off there towards the end of your presentation. Is she back on?
Hi, can you hear me? I'm having great difficulty and I'm an inept techie.
Well, we heard most of it and you just got cut off towards the end.
As I said, I'm speaking in favor of the Aging Committee resolution to bring legislation forward in the City Council to protect the 250,000 Medicare retirees of the City of New York. We were promised health care, significantly positive health care in our retirement, and for that we deferred raises. In addition, this issue has broader effect on all retirees and the Medicare fund. Medicare Advantage plans are for-profit. They cost the federal government as much as $140 million extra each year. As for-profit plans, they limit care, they ask for pre-approvals, and they're a business and they're a way of saving money. They do this by upcoding, they do this by pre-selecting, they do this by denying care. My husband left the hospital yesterday. He's a New York City retiree. And as a result, he was able to get every test and every diagnosis that he needed. Other people at the hospital were just not so lucky.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I urge the board to adopt the resolution of the Aging Committee supporting retirees in New York City, and by extension, the Medicare, beginning to protect the Medicare fund. Thank you very much, and I apologize for my ineptitude.
It's all the way around. It's here too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that concludes the gallery session. We'll move on to item agenda number 3, report from the Bronx Borough President's Office. Is there anyone here from the Bronx Borough President's Office?
Kira is on the Zoom.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kira.
Good evening. Hello. Good to see you all. I'm sorry I'm not able to be there in person. Alexis has been out. I just wanted to give a brief report. Just bear with me one moment. Just a reminder, I think most of you have filled out the code of conduct. It's really important. It's the first year that this has been instituted. I know I've been following Marty. I know that you guys are putting something together as well, but I'm going to be sending Farah a list of those who have not filled it out. If you could just do that, that would be great. If not, I'll start following up directly. Happy Veterans Appreciation Month to all who have served. We're grateful for your sacrifice. And I just want to thank the community board for assisting putting together that great event. I know the borough president was there last week. I sent to the board today that DOT has announced applications for open streets. Please let us know if you want more information on that. I had 2 events to report, but those are actually taking place right now, so I'm not even going to do that. We will be having a Christmas tree lighting and menorah lighting in December. I'll forward that information over to all of you. And that's all I have. Happy Thanksgiving all, and I trust all as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Kira. Okay, so we'll go on to the item number 4, the 50th precinct. We have Captain Florentino and Officer Sala.
Just go here. Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't work. This is the mic. No. Thank you. Just the mic is really this computer.
Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me loud and clear back there? Yes. Nice. The number that I'm going to provide you guys is actually the report from the 50 precinct. If I don't mention any categories, that means that we're doing good. We up on 22.2% on robbery, 11 versus 2. That's way too many. 1 is too many. So we burglary, we doing pretty good though. We even 9 versus 9. Grand larceny is being a problem to the 5-0. Not only the 5-0, the whole city. People leaving valuable property in their cars. People, if you leave your cell phone, if you leave any items that or property that could actually be resell out there, that's an easy target for you guys. So also we be getting hit with tires and rims of Honda CRV and Kias. So please, if you're in the city out there, not in the confines of 5-0, just leave your car in the garage. GLA, we have 33 versus 28. That's actually 18%. We are having problem with GLA, not only the 5-0, but like I said, even city one. And we having I have my people out there. The whole 5-0 precinct is out there fighting every day, each and every day out there, conducting car stuff, pulling people over with a turret light on and stuff like that. So that means that we being proactive. Don't think that we just take and report. No, we're not doing that. We're being proactive out there. So just to make sure that every one of you guys visiting or who lives in the 5-0 are actually safe with your family. So that'll be all. If you guys have any questions, feel free.
I'm curious to how the officer that was assaulted on the #1 train at 238th Street is doing.
Lieutenant Pichardo, he's actually doing much better though. He got 8 stitches, and that was totally unacceptable incident, you know. But it was actually, we got a perp. The 5-0 public safety team apprehended one on the perp on 231st, and the 5-2 precinct apprehended the other one. So now it's under the investigation of the Bronx DA, but he's doing much better. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
I think on behalf of my fellow board members, we wish him the best.
Yes. Thank you. We appreciate it. On behalf of the NYPD, we definitely appreciate it.
What was the incident?
He was there was a radio room. Female with a knife. He engaged the individual, and out of nowhere they just started hitting him.
And this is on the platform.
This is actually inside the wagon train. So thankfully, they were both apprehended, and now it's in the hands of the Bronx DA.
Charles has a question. I was wondering if you have had reports of any serious anti-Semitic incidents in the command. I know there was one over in Norwood recently, and I'm wondering if you've heard of anything within your command.
Lately, than the 5-0, no. Just the incident that we had the other day, but it's being investigated by the NYPD Bronx hate crime unit. So they actually investigate.
That incident was?
Well, the Zoom meetings.
The Zoom meetings.
Oh, the Zoom. Okay.
Yeah, that was the last one we had.
It actually was. I'm sorry, in my building, one of the tenants in my building had reported that somebody came down and ripped down her mezuzah, and she called into the precinct. They told her to call 911, and she did.
I took that report.
That was it, right?
It was not referred to hate crimes. It was just a report for the incident itself. Hate crimes picks up, they make a decision based on the report, based on what's said. So for it to be a hate crime, it would actually have to be some kind of action that you know was done for a hate crime purpose, right? So like what happened in the Zoom meeting, they made it clear what they were saying. Right?
Well, she had said to me that when the cops did come to her door making the report, that she was told, "What's the big deal about it? What's that? What's the big deal about it coming over your door?" And then I know exactly. And then somebody had said, and then somebody from my side of the building had said to her, something about Gaza, Palestine, and like was getting in her face and intimidating her about it. Yeah. I have yet to see because I have the ring doorbell to see who it was to show up, but that's crazy. I mean, ripping the scissors off the door, that's a hate, as far as I'm concerned, that's a hate crime.
The reason it was stated, okay, so the original reason for the officers when they showed up, the mezuzahs, we've actually had a couple them, even one that was on video that fell on its own, right? So we know that that does happen. There was no damage to her door. There was no damage to the mezuzah. Everything was in place. It was on the floor. So it's very hard to prove whatever might have happened. So that was the original.
Here's the thing. She said that she had glued it really tight because somebody had done it before.
I spoke to her myself.
Yeah.
She didn't do it.
Yeah, because she came.
It was the super that did it. I spoke to her.
Yeah.
I went there myself.
Okay,
And like I said, we ended up taking a report based on the fact that, you know, the strip was, looked like it might have been torn. So I took a report for that. The reason it's not referred to hate crimes is because they don't have enough to make it a hate crime.
And the other thing I would like to say is about the scooters that get real bad. As I told you this morning, I almost got ran down on my block. Johnson Avenue, Netherland Avenue, they're riding up on the sidewalks. I mean, we have an assisted living right up the block. They're allowed out. They're walking, shopping. They're going to get knocked down. It's getting really out of hand.
Just so you know, we actually enforcing that out there.
Awesome.
Myself, along with all
really need them on Johnson.
We always out there enforcing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
we have a question. We have a few, I see it, but we have a question from Chuck Mertler on Zoom. Chuck, are you unmuted?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe that the report that you must file at least once a month has a section on the hate crimes committed or reported within the precinct. What is the report for the latest month, please?
The hate crimes. Yeah.
It was the one incident for the community board.
That was the latest one, yes. And it's being investigated by the NYPD hate crime unit.
No, not just the individual crimes. You have a statistical section of saying how many there were and what kind. It's in the report you file each month. Don't you have it in your report?
Right now, I don't have that information in front of me, but I will be more than happy to reach out to you and give you that data.
If you could do the following, it would be appreciated.
No problem.
We went to a great deal of trouble to get this done years ago. Each month, there is a section that you put in that has the number and nature of crimes. Among those are hate crimes. And what we would like to have as a board is that statistical breakdown. It shows whether there were crimes against Muslims, whether against people of color, and anti-Semitism. But we need to have that data.
Not a problem. Once I get that information from the hate crime unit, I would definitely get it back to you, because what I believe that might be a hate crime, once it gets investigated, it might not be a hate crime. So I can give you that legitimate information right now, but once I get the percentage, I would definitely reach out to you.
What I'm looking for is the raw data of reports, not findings. Findings go to the DA. Reports are what you file with the borough command.
No problem. We'll definitely follow up on it.
All right.
So monthly, not just this month.
Thank
for
you.
the next several months.
So you can find that it's actually public information that you're looking for. When you go on CompStat, nyc.gov and look for CompStat reports, you could find everything you need there.
But it would be relevant as part of the monthly 5.0 report.
Anything that you have that you want monthly, you can look monthly and you get all the information there. So actually ask us.
We'll speak with him so that it'll come for the monthlies. Okay, and Ed,
have the information and it's published information.
There's another question on the floor, Ed.
How you doing, Captain?
How are you?
So last count I had, there was 15 illegal smoke shops in our area. So my question is, what has the 50th precinct been any discussions recently amongst yourselves or with other agencies about issuing summonses or doing search and seizure raids for businesses that are operating illegally, and where are we going with that in the future?
I'm glad you asked that question. Actually, today we closed one of them on 225th. So we actually working every day, but we have to conduct numerous operations at the same location to be able to close it down. It's not one-time hit though. So we have to go there 4 times. And all of 4 times has to be positive for us to get something and put it together so we could be able to close that down, that location. But just so you know, we just closed one today on 225th. So we're working on it.
The discussion will keep moving.
Anybody else have a question? Oh, Jessica.
No, I just want to comment because my car got broken into too, and I know that one habit that I am planning on changing is locking the glove compartment where people keep your wheel locks. I feel like that's no, most people don't necessarily lock them. That perhaps that's a recommendation to the public as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, be careful. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to go to Okay, we're going item number 5. We're going to go to item number 5 on the agenda, Ms. Lee. We're going to the elected officials report. I'm going to use the timer because we do have to be out of here at a certain hour. So forgive me, we each have 3 minutes. So we'll go with Senator Jackson's office representative.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dara Quinsack. I'm the Special Assistant to State Senator Robert Jackson. The senator right now is trying to make sure that bills that he has passed with the help of the Assembly and the Senate that need to get the governor's signature are going to get approved. Most people think that once the bill gets passed by the legislature, it's done. That is not the case. You also need the governor to sign the bill. And there are a lot of bills that are related to civil service and retirement. So we're trying to get those passed. Besides that, we're going to be having community events later on in November. We will let you guys know via our e-update. If you would like to join our e-update, send an email to jackson@nysenate.com and we'll add you to that email list. And we apologize if you signed up and we lost you, but we had a technical glitch. And we don't apologize for that. It was at our office. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to go in the back. Alina, I'm so sorry. And you were one of the first ones here from the mayor's office, Alina Dow. You were actually the first one. And again, I thank you. I know I thanked you last week, but for always staying with us from beginning to end. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Alina Dow. I am the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I just have a couple of updates. I really just one of the good things that's happening is that the mayor has released its first of a kind plan to work with artificial intelligence. Second store, we will want to let us know because that is something that he definitely doesn't want our kids to have access to. Also, the mayor and the TLC commissioner are working to deliver the Green Ride, which is a program to make New York City clear rides a zero emission and wheelchair accessible by 2030. The Mayor Adams and the governor, they have a Chain Bigger Bird initiative announcing nearly $300 million for a new biomedical research hub in New York City. And the mayor just hosted a reception honoring National White Pain Awareness, and that is to focus on assisting disabled people who either want to return to the workforce or if this is the first time going into the workforce. And the mayor with the DOT commissioner, they're taking major steps to advance the Dining Out NYC, which is the nation's largest outside dining program. If you know of any stores that want to find out how to keep their outdoor dining shed or be able to stay on the sidewalk, you can always just contact me and I'll help them as well. And don't forget, if you call 311, if we have a lot of those businesses now have to have their garbage in containers. So not saying telling people, but we do want to keep our communities really clean. If you're in the community and happen to notice that a business is not following that, please again call 311 and then just shoot me a message and we'll just politely let them know that they do want to follow on that to keep our city clean. The mayor also launched a new channel on WhatsApp. That's something that they do, international. A lot of people connect with each other via WhatsApp. So he has a channel. I'll share it with the board so that they can share it. And the mayor also, as you always, he has the text to air it. You can actually text the mayor. I'm not sure if anybody's interested in texting. I like to talk to people on the phone, but now you can also talk to text the mayor. And I'll share my information so that you guys could contact me for quality of life things, any other issues that you may have. I always make myself readily available. Happy holidays to you all. I feel like I'm out of time, so I'm trying to hurry up and go. And that's about it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Going once?
Thank you. And now we have from Senator Gustavo Rivera's office, representative.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brent Schneider. I'm from Senator Rivera's office. I'm going to be very, very brief because obviously we got up on my timer, and I want to quickly explain a couple of quick things. One, a few weeks ago we did a walk and talk with the wonderful DM and wonderful chair of CD8, and we went through various issues of importance in North Riverdale. And I do want to point out that within about 30 steps into our walk and talk, we found it one of the illegal dispensers at 466 West 261st Street. So we reached out to OCM, and they have, in addition to calling the 50, in addition to reporting 301 and 911, you should also email complaints@ocm.ny.gov. They're taking it basically in the order in which they receive these. So they don't feel shy to send that again to complaints@ocm.ny.gov. The second thing I want to just talk about is that on Wednesday, November 29th, we are doing a free paper shredding event. It's going to be at the Riverdale Neighborhood House. It's going to be from, again, Wednesday, November 29th, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Bring any documents that you need to shred. I'm sure I'm planning to bring mine as well. So I'll see you there. And that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you again. And if you have any questions, any questions here? No? All right, I'm going to be here to the end. So
Thank you.
At the end.
Thank you. Okay, we have a representative from Assemblyman Dinowitz's office. Is he unmuted?
Let me ask him to unmute. I asked Jesse to unmute.
Hi, thank you. This is Jesse Lair from Assemblyman Dinowitz's office. I don't have too many updates right now, just to say that we're closely following the development at the school on 232nd Street that is a point of contention, and we will be present at the meeting tomorrow to discuss it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other representatives from an elected official?
Oh, Bronx DA's office, Jumana Escalera.
We have two then, so unmute them.
I'm gonna Rebecca from the New York Public Library. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Retta Reese asked to every time I do it, another thing comes up. Hold on. I am. Hold on. Retta Reese.
Hi, good evening.
It's Retta Reese from Councilman Dinowitz.
Can you just state your name and the office you're representing?
Sure. My name is Frederice Latchman, and I am here representing Councilmember Eric Dinowitz's office.
Thank you. Any other representatives?
The DA's office.
Yeah, where is it? Okay. The DA's office. Jumana, we're trying to, there we go.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Jumana Escalera, and I am a community engagement coordinator for the Bronx District Attorney's Office. So we have a few events coming up. Right now, we are hosting a canned food drive for Transgender Awareness Week. In observance of Transgender Awareness Week, we're organizing a canned food drive out of our office, which is located at 198 East 161st Street. We're also hosting a coat drive for New York Cares. So if anyone has coats that they're no longer using, please donate them to the less fortunate at our office. We're gonna have bins inside of our lobby for you to drop off the items for both cans and the coats. In January, we'll be hosting our first Youth Advisory Council meeting. That's going to be hosted on the 13th of January from 11 to 1 p.m. And pretty much we're allowing, different youth from ages 13 to 24 to participate in a conversation about gun violence amongst the DA. So they're going to get to talk about different things that they've seen in their community with the district attorney. So once that flyer is completed, I'm going to share it with the district manager. And yeah, so if you have any interest or of any youth interested in participating, please feel free to reach out. I'll put my email. I'll send my email information to the district manager. But thank you again and have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you. You as well.
Sorry.
Yes?
We actually have to go. So
okay, great.
If anybody has any questions, you can ask them. Anything, everybody should have my number.
Public Safety Committee.
Yeah,
don't
we'll have them.
Just look at the person next to you. I'm sure they'll have it.
Thank you. Be safe. Okay, we're going to call on Carlos Torres. If you want to state your name, if you have anything quick you want to add.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Carlos Torres. I'm the crime prevention coordinator at the Office of the Bronx District Attorney. I won't take up too much time. Just wanted to say a big salute to the brave men and women at the NYPD at the 50th Precinct. Speedy recovery to the LT. The Bronx District Attorney's Office, we have a initiative known as Bronx CAMS. CAMS stands for Community Assisted Mapping Systems. This initiative is to help identify individuals who have committed a crime, successful prosecution, and also to help promote public safety. Community members and business owners voluntarily will list their cameras to this database, which also includes NYPD and NYCHA cameras. This is free. Our office does not provide the cameras. We don't have actual access to the cameras or the video footage. We would get that once we would get permission from the business owner or from the community member. That being said, I did forward this information along with the letter and the Bronx CAMS application to Community Board 8. Once again, my name is Carlos Torres, Crime Prevention Coordinator. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. For the people on Zoom.
Oh.
Can you mute that one?
I think it's this one. Hold on.
Please stay there.
Sorry, just 1 minute, please. Thank you. Frederice raised her hand again, so let's see.
Actually speak other than identifiers.
Okay.
Hi.
Yes.
I just wanted to go ahead and give updates if that's okay before we move on.
Yes. Go ahead.
Perfect. So I don't want to take up too much time. I'm bearing in mind that 3-minute limit. Hello, everyone. It's my first time here at CB8, so I'm happy to be here. I just want to give you some updates about what's been going on that the office has been working on. Julio was at the Van Cortlandt Library today answering questions for constituents. And of course, every month we do have someone there at the library just to come and answer questions. I'm going to drop some information about that in the chat just so people are aware. We also have received feedback regarding city bikes taking parking spots, and the office is working to address those concerns that have been shared with us. And we understand how important those spaces are within the community. So if you are also facing that issue, we welcome feedback about that as well. Another issue that we've been seeing is SNAP benefit skimming. The holidays are coming up. People are using those benefits. So just be aware that that is something that's going on. If you need assistance with that, if your benefits have been stolen, please reach out to the office. The information for the office is going to be given at the end. October 29th, we held a shredding event. So Assemblymember Dinowitz's office, along with our office for Councilmember Eric Dinowitz, held a successful event. It was pouring rain, but people still came and got their items shredded. There was a litter cleanup on Henry Hudson on the 3rd of this month from 249th Street on the northbound side. And then we went a few blocks, I think, in the 250s. And then we turned around and cleaned up some of the southbound side as well. We were working with ACE to make that happen. So if there is a litter issue, please reach out to the office and we're happy to look into it. We're still taking donations for migrant families. If you'd like to bring them into the office, it's going to be ongoing. So any kind of gently used or lightly used items, please feel free to bring them in. Things for babies, toiletries, wipes, clothes, shoes, suits, jackets, because it's getting cold. The last thing, it is heat season, so heat should be on. If you're having heating issues in your apartment, please feel free to reach out as well. We've gotten some feedback about that. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us or visit the office at 277 West 231 Street. You can email us also at dinowitz@council.nyc.gov. You can also call, so that is 718-549-7300. That's the district office, but you can also reach the legislative office at 212-788-7080. Last but absolutely not least, the most important thing, I have been working diligently to put together a turkey giveaway. It's going to be at 3 different schools. I'm going to give out the information for that as well. It's going to be at PS 94, PS 7, which is the Milton Fine School, and it's also going to be at PS 16. There are going to be specific dates per school, so it's going to be 11:30 for PS 94. For PS 7, it's going to be 1:00 p.m. in the afternoon, and then for the last school, PS 16, it's going to be at 2:30. And that is going to be this coming Saturday on the 18th. If you'd like, we'd love to see you there. I worked very hard on the event to put something together. I just want to make sure that families who are in need or anyone who would like a turkey for the holiday season comes, because it takes forever to thaw. So please feel free to come and visit the turkey giveaway. That's it.
And everyone, if you want all those numbers, this will be on video, or you can call their office directly, because she gave a lot of information. Thank you. We appreciate it. Okay. So we're going to go on to the next item, which is a chairperson's report. Mine will be brief. I'll say take a look at the executive minutes, but I just do want to make a point to advise that a longtime board member, Margaret Donato, has resigned from the board due to illness, and she will be missed. She participated through the years, so we wish her well. Also want to thank those who attended the new orientation for the board members and chairs. And a particular thank you to our board member, Law Rules and Ethics Chairperson, Marty Wolkoff, who participated and did a presentation for the members. It was very, very good. Thank you. Farah and I, the district manager, are still looking at offices, and Sergio, myself, and Farah saw a place that was promising, and Farah and I recently visited another site, and we continue to look at sites, and hopefully we'll have something to present soon, hopefully. And lastly, I want to thank our new board member, Jillian Baez, for introducing us to an internship opportunity. And tonight, no one's met her. This is her first night. Crystal, you want to stand up? We have an intern, Crystal Moya. He will be with us shortly. If you want to say something quick about yourself. I know we put you on the spot as soon as you got here.
Well, my name is Crystal. I am a Jillian's student at Hunter College. So this is a very interesting internship for me. I don't know if I have the 3-minute timer.
10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes?
No, don't get her in trouble.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to meet you all. It's a pleasure. And yeah.
And we're glad to have you. Thank you. She walked in. I just met her and she went right to work. So thank you. So I will hand it off for the treasurer's report.
Okay, good evening, everyone. First off, I just want to apologize for missing the executive committee meeting this month. My wife and I unfortunately had a death in the family. We just appreciate all the condolence messages we received. So I just wanted to say that. The treasurer's report contains an update of salaries paid, as well as a current OTPS, its urban personal spending balance of $19,517. Is broken down into some more detail in table 1.1. An issue that has come up is that an invoice in the amount of $3,525.20, which was for 3 laptops and a webcam that we received in fiscal year 23, was actually charged against our funds for this fiscal year. If we were advised by the VP's office that those funds will be reimbursed no later than January this year. So essentially, our fiscal year 23 funds are being used for that purchase. At the end of the last fiscal year, it was my understanding that invoices for supplies delivered within the fiscal year would be processed so that they would be charged against the 2023 funds, not 24. these items were in fact received in 23 and the funds were encumbered in 23. Throughout the summer, the office followed up with BP's office on this invoice as well as others to ensure that they were being processed since 23. As you know, we lost our community coordinator in August, so better. We think a lot of legwork and communication with BP's office. And only recently, we were able to speak with our contact to confirm how this, it's a manual accrual. So how it works is that they charge 24, but then we get reimbursed. Long story short, we're charged for laptops for this fiscal year, but the fund for 23 will be due. They're charging 24, then we get reimbursed in January. Until then, we do have the $10,000 in object code 499, if we did need to tap into it. In addition, I'm happy to report that because we were without a community coordinator for approximately 3 months, OMB today authorized us to move $4,000 from our PS budget into our OTPS budget. So that's another $4,000 that we have access to, and I'm going to work with there on a budget modification to approve that and for the board's approval next month. So that's what I wanted to focus on this month. Beyond that, our budget modification will come next month. We have a little bit in encumbered funds, and our rent and energy bills are maintained separately by OMB at 1.4.
Thank you. Questions? The next item, the district manager's report.
Good evening, everyone. Recently I just wanted to mention, we have been having some issues with Zoom bombing at our meetings, and just want to report that we did reach out to our local precinct and to the captain of the precinct, and they did create a report with us, and I'm happy to say that we have a special detective working on our case and reviewing all the recordings. So hopefully we can put a stop to this harassment that has been occurring at some of our meetings. As Julie, our chair, mentioned, we have been working closely to find new office space and doing tours to see what's available. I'm also happy to report that the fiscal year 25 budget priorities for CB8 have been submitted to the city, and we're just waiting to hear responses from our city agencies, which should come, I think, in early spring, hopefully sooner. In February. We had a very nice orientation with our old and new board members. Thank you all to those who came. Thank you to Marty Walpop for presenting, and to the Department of City Planning for also giving a presentation. And thank you to Downey's Bar and Grill, who hosted us for the evening. I have reached out, as the BP office has also said. I've been reaching out to our board members who still haven't signed the code of conduct acknowledgement form. If you don't have it or need to ask me for it, please do, but I have been emailing you. Please send that in as soon as possible. I'm also happy to report that our office is hosting our first free turkey giveaway event next week. And we're asking everyone, if you know of anyone who's in need or would like a turkey, please reach out to our office, either by phone or email, to reserve your turkey. If you live in the district, you can get a free turkey. Yeah, the turkeys, we wanted to thank Stag Group for donating the turkeys and making this possible. I've also been very busy interviewing and working to fill our community coordinator position. That was vacant since August 18th. I am very happy to announce that I have found an excellent candidate. I was very impressed with his resume and his abilities to do the job required. And I have some experience working with him in the past as well. So I'm very excited. Lastly, I'm holding the next district service cabinet meeting on Tuesday, December 5th, and we'll be sending a memo to our executive committee chairs to send me anything you have to put on the agenda to follow up. I also want to thank College of Mount St. Vincent for hosting us this evening and providing this beautiful space. Thank you all and have a great evening.
Thank you, Sarah. We're going to roll call.
There's a mic or anything.
I just put checks. Okay. All right, I'll do roll call. Sylvia Alexander,
Here.
Jillian Baez.
Here.
Oh, do you want me to, you already asked about EC?
I mentioned in the beginning.
Okay.
But I did omit, I sent the email to Margaret this morning, Joy.
I actually, I'm sorry, let me give it to you. Okay.
You had Deb Travers, Marty Walpole.
Chuck Modler and Joy.
Joy.
Okay, thank you. They're under extenuating circumstances. Extraordinary, excuse me, extraordinary. Constance Barnes Watson. Abubakar Barry. Bob Bender.
Here.
Carol Blake. Kelly Buford. Chris Calhoun.
Here.
Sebastian Chitilapilli. Okay. Lee Chang.
Present.
Ingrid De Leon.
Here.
Margaret Della.
Here.
Robert Fanuzzi.
Here.
Nick Fazio.
Here.
Stephen Fruit.
Here.
David Gelman.
Present.
Mary Ellen Gibbs.
Present.
Rosemary Ginty.
Here.
Dr. Julia Gomez. Edward Green.
Present.
Emily Houseman. Rashida Hilliard.
Here.
Robert Jakolowski.
Here.
Barbara Kale.
Here.
Rabbi, no, he's absent. Rabbi Bob Kaplan. Scott Krumpinger.
Here.
Josh Land.
Here.
Elian Lobos. Reader Proctor Lowe.
Here.
Oscar Martinez. Charles Mordler. This EC.
They still have to see.
He's
the-
on,
so
yeah.
On EC, they still have.
He
to
was on,
acknowledge and we have
he's
to
on
see them.
Zoom.
I see that.
Well, we gotta unmute them
Yeah.
because they can't.
So, Mark, if you could unmute.
Unmute
all
Charles
four.
and Marty and Deb. Ted Morris. Omar Murray. Joy is EC, is she on there?
I don't see
Do you see her there?
her. No.
Okay. Julie Reyes.
Present.
Daniel Rowan. Georgia Santiago. She would have called in. She might, we have to ask her to unmute. Georgia, is that you?
3 times.
Thank you very much.
Yes, this is Georgia.
Yes, present. Ramdat Singh. Jessica Sosa.
Here.
Laura Spalter.
Here.
Deb Travis.
Present.
So that's on Zoom. Sergio Villaverde.
Presente.
And Martin Wolpuff.
I'm sorry. Can you call Chuck?
And Chuck Mordler. Is he on there?
I asked him to unmute.
We asked you to unmute, Chuck.
He's waving his hand.
I know, he's present.
Okay, I'm present too now.
Thank you both, Marty and Chuck.
Chuck, we see you waving your hands. Joy's absent.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so then we'll go on to committee reports and resolutions. We'll start with law, rules, and ethics. So Marty, you're up.
Thank you. Am I still unmuted?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. We unfortunately did not have a quorum last night, so some of the items I would have given recommendations on are now just to inform you that we're talking about them. We did talk about the embargoing of the videos based upon Zoom bombing, and we're also looking for responses, and I'm waiting for a letter to go out from the office so that those entities like Committee on Open Government, who obviously have experience with this, would give us some guidance. We are still talking about the concept of polling members who abstain after or for a vote, and our curiosity as to why they chose to abstain. There are reasons that are appropriate, and there are reasons that could be distressing, particularly if abstentions win on a vote. But we're looking into that. You also, I'll repeat again, that if someone abstains for cause, then I, as parliamentarian, have the authority to question why that abstention for cause is appropriate, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We are considering and thinking about the need or potential need of changing the procedures for online Zoom meetings. Two particular reasons is, one, we want to evaluate the use of extenuating circumstances, and shortly a questionnaire will go out to all the chairs for their input and their experience, and will give us some guidance as to whether change is needed or not. Also, we'll have to make a change because of the ADA change, because the open meetings law was amended to include for the first time those who are identified as having disabilities, who have the ability to not only be EC, extenuating circumstance, but they can also be counted as part of the quorum, even though they aren't present physically in the meeting. Kara mentioned earlier that we are working on and have been working on the concept of having a code of conduct for the board. We are leaning to the fact that the borough president's code of conduct is totally covers many areas and is very well written. Right now, I understand that new members had to sign or should have signed, and returning members should have resigned, should have signed. And those members who are not reappointed yet, they'll be asked to sign that for next year. But we believe that in our, both in our ethical guidance manual and our bylaws, we have the following statement, quote, beyond adherence to the formal rules, members are expected to treat with dignity and respect all the members of the board and members of the public whom we serve. How we shall decide to put this out in any particular order so that it's regularly posted or what, we have not yet decided, or bringing a recommendation. One last thing, and that is I am planning to invite a representative from the Conflict of Interest Board to address at least the committee and perhaps the entire board. We need to talk about that. And we are putting together a schedule of questions that we'd like that representative, who has spoken with us before, we've had him twice before, what issues we'd like him to address. And I will present him with that list so that he will be able to be up to date on top of the questions we're going to ask. Those are my issues report for tonight. I know if I went on too long, it would make me report next month. So I want to be careful.
Yes. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
So the next is Deb Travis with the Parks and Recreation.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to report on the first item, which is encampments. Now that the leaves are starting to come down from the trees, we're beginning to discover that there have been encampments in Van Cortlandt Park. They're becoming just more obvious. So if you come across any, Stephanie Ehrlich has requested that we just, you please send photos to the board office and we can follow up with Van Cortlandt Park Alliance. And if you can possibly drop a pin on Google Maps, this makes it easier to convey the location of the encampments to the park staff out in the field. I refer you to our minutes for details from our October committee meeting, where we discussed the past, current, and future use of the paper street adjacent to Brush Park. We also discussed efforts to address double parking of buses along the Broadway corridor adjacent to Van Cortlandt Park during track meets, which has been a chronic issue this year. A new request for proposal has been released by the Parks Department for the stables in Van Cortlandt Park. The deadline to submit proposals is Monday, December 4th at 2 p.m. Please contact Lindsay Schott at parksnyc.gov, and her name is LINDSAY.SCHOTT at parks.nyc.gov for more information. Our next committee meeting is on a different date than usual, since we would otherwise be the night before Thanksgiving. So our next committee meeting is Wednesday, November 29th. At 7 p.m. at the board office and via Zoom. We will be discussing the Van Cortlandt House and the license renewal for the National Society of Colonial Dames of New York. Thank you. Good night.
Zach, there's a question for you from Dave Gelman. David.
Thank you. Deb, did Parks give you a copy of that RFP, or can you share that with the committee at least?
Yeah, David, I'm sorry. I will totally get it out to you. I've just been sick, so I've been a little bit behind. But yeah, totally. It's on my list.
Very good. Feel better.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's public safety. Peps?
Okay, so Public Safety Committee, we have several resolutions, and I'm going to start with the renewal application. So we had one renewal application for liquor, wine, beer, and cider. It was Cocina Chente Mexican Cuisine, located at 3535 Riverdale Avenue. Another one for wine, beer, and cider, which was Kai Fan, located at 3717 Riverdale Avenue. And another one for liquor, wine, beer, and cider, which was Mama Juana Cafe Prime, located at 3541 Riverdale Avenue. All three of these renewals, the 50th precinct stated they were unaware of any prior disturbances. The Public Safety Committee unanimously approved all three of these applications. And if no one objects, I'd like to take a vote from the board on all three of them as a block. So is there anyone who opposes or wants to abstain from voting on any of these renewal applications? I can't see behind me, so.
No, you're good.
Okay. All right, so.
Any abstentions?
Oh, I'm looking on here. Does anyone raise their hand here?
Anyone disapprove?
I'm not seeing anything on Zoom.
So then it's approved.
Okay, so with that, Public Safety Committee has another resolution for a corporate change. So I'm going to just read it because I think reading it is better than me explaining it. So, whereas Glenda Santana, representative of Tijuana Knights, located at 216 West 242nd Street, appeared before the Public Safety Committee on October 17, 2023. For a corporate change, whereas Arturo Estevez is selling all his shares, which represent 40% of the business, to Glenda Santana. Whereas representatives of NYPD's 50th Precinct and the Public Safety Committee stated that there have been many 311 complaints about this establishment in the past. Whereas Glenda Santana stated that college students were responsible for previous disturbances in and around the club. The Tijuana Knights recently raised the patron age from 21 to 25 to restrict college students. Whereas the Public Safety Committee unanimously approved this application. So I'm going to give you a little just background on why we've had, this is a business that we've had various complaints about in the past. And the reason our committee approve this unanimously, because first of all, it's not, their license is not being renewed, it's for a corporate change. So, the woman, Glenda Santana, appeared before the committee. She seemed very forthcoming. She seemed like she wanted to do something. I thought it was a very good act of good faith that she took it upon herself on her own to raise the patronage from 21 to 25. Not many businesses will do that. So to me, that's a very strong act of good faith that they want to actually do something about what problems that they had in the past. So, and the other thing is this, since they're not being brought up for renewal again, if we did have issues with the previous owner, I think it's probably a good thing that the owner's moving on and somebody else is going to take over. So that's my rationale for why we approved this unanimously, being that we did have issues with it. So I'd like to take a vote on this. Is there anybody who opposes this resolution?
I just want to know, didn't you say that their renewal will be within a year anyhow, so we can quickly?
Well, not so quickly, because not quickly enough for me, but it does renew December of 2024, so we have a good year before they come up.
Thank you,
Margaret.
Are they held to the earlier hours?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
A new business?
We're not going to make them sign a 2 a.m. agreement because they're an existing business. We do that to new applications who for the first year we have them sign 2 a.m. agreements, but this business has already been in operation, so yeah, that would be enough.
Any questions on Zoom? No hands? Not
Okay,
that
so
I'm
are there
seeing.
any abstentions? Any disapprovals on the application? Margaret? So no abstentions, 1 disapproval, and then everybody else approves.
Okay, so we have one other order of business. So I'd actually like to bring a resolution from the floor, and I'll explain this. So back in September of 2022, we had a new application from a business called Cote Wine Bar, and they plan to start up at 5639 Mashalou Avenue. Committee for a new liquor license and a temporary retail permit. We unanimously approved their application, and then it came before the full board in October of 2022, and the full board also approved this application. So fast forward, Cote Wine Bar never submitted their application to SLA within the 278-day deadline because they had hired a contractor that dragged their feet and they failed to complete construction in a timely manner, to say the least. So the contractor really dragged out and they couldn't get the work done, so they didn't submit the application. So, I personally spoke to the owner, I spoke to the lawyer. They're ready to go now. Construction has been completed, and the owner of Cote Wine Bar states that he's ready to open his business to the public. And I also spoke to a representative of SLA about this, and they said they would need to, since it expired, they need to resubmit the application and get community board approval again to have their application approved. So the reason I'm bringing this from the floor rather than through committee is because if this was brought before the Public Safety Committee for review, it would be unable to be voted upon by the full board until the December meeting, which could cause potential lost revenue to the business that's ready to go. So I have a motion to bring this to a vote from the floor. Does anybody have a second? Second? Okay, we have a second. So is there anybody who
So am I correct now? You have to vote on the motion that you're taking it?
Motion to amend the agenda.
Right.
Madam Chair.
Okay, I'm learning.
Wait, where is it?
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, so those who disapprove of adding this to the agenda, Those who abstain? And all agree. So it's on the floor. So now you're going to vote on it. Any discussion? Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the owner of the new establishment is also a longtime owner of business across the street, which is Corkmasters Wine and Liquor. So that there's a tremendous track record of being a good citizen in the community. I just wanted to mention that this is not an unknown.
Okay. Okay, thanks. And I just have to go back because you're right. Can you unmute?
Yeah.
Marty, Deb, Georgia, and Chuck.
Yeah.
Deb, Marty, Chuck, and Georgia. Was there anybody else?
Well, Marty, I did, right?
Just
Yep, I'm unmuted.
on Zoom in regards to the votes that we just had. If you, okay, I see Chuck's is up good with it. And then Deb's unmuted, Marty's unmuted, and Chuck's unmuted. And Georgia, you can hear us, right?
Well, I gotta unmute Georgia too. Where is she? Okay.
Okay.
They're all
thanks.
unmuted.
Okay, this way, if you disagree or have a comment, just shout it out, because this isn't working. Okay, so now. Okay, thanks, Georgia. So is there any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, so now you're going to take a vote.
Is there anyone who objects to this application?
Any abstentions?
Any abstentions?
Okay. Well, approved. Thank you.
Okay, so I just have a couple of really quick things to finish off public safety. Our meeting is next Tuesday, it's the 21st at the 50th precinct at 7 p.m. All are welcome. And last but not least, I just wanted to, say a word of personal thanks to Margaret Donato, who was previously the chair of the Public Safety Committee, and who I personally learned a lot from. Working with her, and I can call her a friend. We had many a long conversation. Great person, and I'm sad to see that she's, her health is resigning from the board. But she was a big influence in, my journey through the board, and me being here as chair of public safety, her as the previous chair. I learned a lot from her, and I'm gonna miss not having her on the board. And I think she was very well liked within this board too. And I just wanted to say thank you to Margaret.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. She's very supportive. Absolutely. Very supportive with everyone too. Kind words. Thank you, Ed. Okay, so we'll go to traffic and transportation.
Perfect. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Buford, the chair of the Traffic and Transportation Committee. I refer you to our September 2023 meeting minutes. The committee did not meet in October, and we will meet this coming Thursday, November 16th at 7 p.m. at the board office. We do have one resolution that was adopted at the September meeting. It was not right for presentation at the last meeting because it is for a street renaming, and the rules are the person has to be deceased for at least 2 years, and the honoree died in December of 2021. So we are bringing it before the committee now, recognizing that it's still slightly below the marker of his death. However, the board does have to approve it for it has to be presented to the board at 2 consecutive meetings. So we felt it proper to bring it before the board at this time. I also would like to note that the proposed resolution is on the screen. However, there was a friendly amendment submitted by David Gelman for the second clause in the preamble. And the friendly amendment, we wish to amend that resolution that you see on the screen to read, whereas James Jimmy Packus owned Riverdale Auto Clinic for over 2 decades at the northwest corner of West 230th Street and Tibet Avenue in Bronx Community District Number 8, following his family's ownership for most of the 20th century of Tigerdale Automobile Service and Repair directly across the street. Does anyone have any objections to that amendment? Hearing nothing, then, Madam Chair, I will yield back to you and you can put through the motion.
Okay, so is anyone abstaining from this vote? Is anyone disapproving of the vote? Yes?
Against.
Against, okay, so it's one.
Susan, I'm abstaining. Fanuzzi is opposed.
Okay. And then no abstentions, one opposed, and then
One abstention.
You're abstaining?
Yeah.
Okay, Mark. One abstention, Margaret, opposed, Fanuzzi, and then everyone else approves. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Now we go to you. Are you reporting for you?
And
Hold on, are you the vice chair? Don't you have a vice chair?
Julia, like you do.
All right. Well, if the community board could have some information, if you have any from the youth committee, I'll take it from a committee member. He is a committee member. You can report if you have anything to say.
I'll be very brief. I'll refer everyone to the minutes. The next youth meeting is Monday. I believe is that the board office? It's Monday at the board office. You are welcome and thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, now we have aging committee. Oscar.
Good evening. So first and foremost, I would like to apologize to my fellow committee members for not being present at our last meeting. I had a family emergency where my sister-in-law was giving birth and there was no one to watch the kids, so I had to fly. A beautiful baby girl to the St. Francis.
Wow.
Our next board meeting is
at least you could do for her.
The next meeting is December 14th. That's the second Thursday in December at 4 p.m. at the board office. And there is a resolution that we need to vote.
Put the changes on.
Well, I'll just read it from the screen. So you guys heard about this earlier today, but this is the first one.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Oh yeah. Prior to this, there is my vice chair. Okay, so this resolution is to support and advocate on behalf of the New York City municipal retirees, urging the New York City City Council to pass intro 1099, which will preserve, and this is just to bring it to the floor for voting, to preserve retiree healthcare choices by mandating the city to offer Medicare eligible city retirees and their Medicare eligible dependents at least one Medigap plan with benefits equivalent to or better than those available to city retirees and their dependents as of December 31st, 2021. In essence, we want to just give them a choice and have a Medigap plan. Motion to vote.
I have a question.
What?
So I was going to ask it before, but I was out of order, I believe. Why is this not? I have two questions, I guess. Is there going to be a cost to the city for this, and why is this not a collective bargain? Why these people? I understand a lot of the people are union members. And why wouldn't this be something that's covered under their collective bargaining?
It is under a union thing because things are delegate. These are medical that was promised to the members when they signed up, And they told when they retired, they would have these benefits as well when they retire. And then there was something that all of a sudden they were going to change their benefits now to Advantage and everything, which they were promised to keep their other benefits when they signed on as workers and union members. So that's what we're voting on, to keep what they have, because it's very important that they do keep these, because as I know, especially after going through cancer, you need to keep your doctors, your medical, your hospitals and everything. And it's important that you stay with what you have in your benefits. So
we also had, Lee had her hand up as well.
Well, I just wanted to say, as a retiree closely involved in this, the real issue is that what the city wants the retirees to have is no longer traditional Medicare, but Medicare Advantage. And they've decided for us that we're going to go with Aetna. Now, nationally, Aetna has had a very negative reputation. And the biggest problem is prior authorization for almost everything. So what now, if you say, for argument's sake, you're diagnosed with cancer and you have to get a test, an MRI, you automatically get it. Now, under this Medicare Advantage, you have to get prior authorization. And the prior authorization isn't coming from doctors. It's coming from office staff from Aetna, who can take their sweet time. There was a major lawsuit in Oklahoma over this, where the husband, the widower, sued Aetna because his wife needed surgery for her cancer. They kept doing prior authorization, and by the time they approved it, she died already. So he won up $1.2 million, but big deal.
Bob,
he
did you
lost
have a
his wife.
question?
But anyway, that's the issue. And they really, the other reason why it came to be is because under the prior administration, they cut a deal with the unions, the teachers union, take money from our health plan to pay for the raises for the teachers. And now they need to recoup the money, so they're going to recoup it through the retirees. So please support getting our local city council members, which is mentioned in the whereas we be resolved, the specific one, to support. I don't believe any of those three have signed on. There are about 20 city council members who have already signed on to this intro. It's intro 1099, and it needs to be done before the end of the year. Thank you.
No, it answered. I understand the merits of why we should do it. My question is, why is it being done by legislation? Why are we asking that it be done by legislation as opposed to collective bargaining, which is where the benefits usually come from? But I'll leave it alone.
Thank you.
You just scroll down and read the whereas.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a little puzzled by the third from last, whereas the proposed plan sets a harmful precedent for the rest of the nation. I'm not sure what the basis is for that. I'm not sure why it's something that we should be addressing as a local community board.
David, the reason that was put in is because this has become a national issue. A lot of municipalities have done this and are going through this in various stages. So that's why we wanted to say it is not unique to New York City. It is happening throughout the country and in other cities.
I'm sorry, hold on.
And I assume Dodell is still on the Zoom.
No, we're doing
Marty
board
has a
members
question.
First. We're doing board members first. Marty?
Yes, just as a point of information, I just want people to know I am a retiree from the New York City Board of Education, and I was concerned that I might have a conflict of interest since I'm a direct beneficiary were this to pass. More important, with the city council to pass it. So I contacted the Conflict of Interest Board, and they have given me a written authorization that I am permitted to vote.
good that we might
Okay,
be able to.
does anybody else have any questions? Oh, I'm sorry, Laura.
No, I just want to say that, picking up on what David said and what Lee said, privatization of Medicare is a national issue at this juncture. It's a battle being fought. The group that is pursuing this has had several victories in the courts thus far to protect our rights as rights of retirees. But privatization of Medicare is a huge issue. You're going to be hearing about this a lot.
I just wanted to add real quick to what Sergio said. Why isn't it being done as a collective bargaining issue? So I happen to know that it's a very contentious issue within unions. So a lot of union members feel that these things they're not happy with the collective bargaining. So there is a contentious union issue as well. So yeah, these things were collectively bargained in a lot of unions. A lot of the members aren't happy.
Thank you.
If this issue is in the courts right now.
Hey, excuse me, wait, we gotta have one conversation. Go ahead.
If this issue is in the courts right now, I'd like some clarity on why the issue is before the community board. Have the court cases been resolved, or are they ongoing? Because I'm curious about why we would be stepping in at this point if it is still in litigation.
They're trying to get the council to put it on the floor to vote. Is the bottom line for that resolution, is to get the council at least to vote.
There's ongoing litigation for this private case, so this is more of the overall issue and getting it on the floor. It's not.
These are not class action lawsuits that are being. Are there any pending class action lawsuits right now?
Well, you can't ask her. You can't ask her. She's not a member.
Marty is up, please.
Okay, wait, hold on 1 second, please. Nick had his hand up. He hasn't spoken yet. Then Marty, then Lee.
Well, I had several questions that I don't think can be answered without me reading the legislation entirely, which I obviously have not done. So therefore, I wouldn't feel comfortable voting on something until I read the legislation. But to Sergio and regarding the collective bargaining, I would like to know before weighing in whether this is, and this pertains to the legal situation as well, maybe shortly. If this is something that they're trying to legislate that is going nowhere on constitutional or legal ground, then it's just another talking point. It's not anything substantive. So therefore, I would be close to it if that was the case. On the second issue that kind of came up along this, Ed mentioned that it's contentious within the union. Therefore, obviously, there's another side to this that we're not hearing. Obviously, I'm inclined to support people who have been told that they have a right to health care for this particular under the previous bargaining agreement. But if there's an issue within the union as well, then obviously there's two sides to this. If they want to add or somebody else wants to weigh in on that as to why it's contentious in the first place, then
I could clarify that briefly.
Because they're selling out the retirees, but go ahead.
Well, that's
basically it.
A lot of you.
Rosie Mendez, I just got a text from her. She's with the public advocate's office.
Rosie Mendez?
Yeah.
No,
Not yet,
no.
but I'm looking her up.
No, we're having discussions here within the board members. Okay, we're going to keep it within the board members. And we had a gallery session. In order to change the rules like that, you guys need to let me know, okay, fine. We're changing the rules midstream. But right now, he has a resolution on the floor. We're doing discussions with board members. Ed was telling somebody something, and then Laura, Lee, and Marty.
Ed was clarifying.
So a lot of union officials who cut deals with the company, whoever their company is, whoever they work for. So a lot of the union officials are feeling the wrath of the rank and file because they feel they've negotiated something that is not in the best interest of the rank and file. So they feel they've been sold out, in short. That's who we
You know,
But I just still don't know why they negotiated that first.
I'm gonna just put, Marty had his, I had said before, Ed, Nick, Marty. Lee, you spoke before, so I'm just gonna go Jessica, Sergio, and Laura. But I'm gonna have Marty up next, and then Marty, you could also discuss the question I would just put on the floor to put somebody from the floor.
Yeah, I don't want to be in a debate on this particular argument, but just to want you to know there are 250,000 retirees who are affected by this. The question of whether or not the union even cared about them, and whether the Taylor law prevents them from representing non-active employees are part of those issues. The issue of whether or not it's part of collective bargaining or should be, there is precedent which says that this is permissible. It's one of the arguments city council members are using, saying they don't want to interfere. But the fact is, it has been done in the past, and it doesn't interfere. And finally, the question from this point, what I've heard, the question of the courts, the 250,000 so impacted. A number of people, myself included, have contributed to a group that's raising funds for the legal action. This is, I'm not sure how many people have signed up, but the point is there have been 4 or 5, I don't remember, legal actions taken. This group has won every single one of them. And the issue becomes how much money can retirees raise versus how much can the corporation council raise. And this can't go on forever. And if it's not concluded, we'll play court battles all the way until the retirees run out of money. And that's not the way it should operate.
Okay, and Marty, I'm just going to put you on the spot as a law, rules, and ethics chair, because someone wants to have the public speak during discussions, and my understanding is that it's just the board.
That is our process, yes.
Okay, thank you. I just want to clarify. Thank you, Marty. Okay.
What I would like to say is this. This particular resolution is about preserving rights and making sure that the retirees have what they think, or whatever company you work for, or whatever agency, whatever it may be. If they mandated you to have something that you did not choose, you would lose your mind. That being said, this resolution is to support a choice and bring it to the floor to vote. We're not voting on the actual law or anything like that, but be conscious that we live in America, and the biggest thing of this country is freedom and choice. And this is what this, in essence, is. So that's where I stand, and that's why the Aging Committee unanimously, I need water.
Unanimously.
Everybody is. Yeah. And that's why I feel strongly about it. That's why we're supporting it. Everyone has their own opinion and how you feel, but the essence of this is the country. This is what we do. It's freedom, it's choice, and we want to make sure we preserve it. So that's what we were promised.
Well said. It's just asking the council to bring it to the floor.
Yeah.
We're not saying yes or no, just bring it to the floor. David?
Yeah, that is the thing that sticks out for me. I mean, we do elect officials, and the mayor's office hires administrators of sorts to negotiate and whatnot. And I think it's still appropriate, though, that we ask that the committee bring the issue to the floor for the full council to debate. I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with this precedent for the rest of the nation. I'd ask that if you would just remove that clause. I think it just muddies the water. It's really not the issue that we really care about as a community board, recognizing our retired employees, etc.
And we amend
Yes, yours. It's a friendly amendment.
Yeah, I can just cross it out.
And Jessica, you had your hand up before?
Yeah, I guess to add to the friendly amendment as so, because that, you know, that one whereas also brought my attention. I am not a retiree, but as I work really hard to one day become a retiree, the last thing I want to have to think about is where I'm gonna go for my healthcare services. I think we've gone through enough, and you know, regarding from, you know, COVID and the tech boom and just too much, you know, and I don't want to. I agree then with the stress that comes with, you know, allowing this to happen, and I advocate for the resolution. I advocate to bring it to the city council, and for that line, I'd amend, you know, the proposed plan does set a harmful precedent for future retirees like myself and yourself, and I think that language might clear up the you know, kind of the extensiveness of approaching a national problem on a local level. So perhaps that can.
Well, the amendment, I'm just going to remove it from this entire.
Right, but I do still agree that it does create a harmful precedent for us, for the people that are not retired. Right, I don't want to work so hard with all these new plans for millennial, right, that are, you know, like I'm putting money in all these different places in hopes that I'll have access to it, that it won't be taxed, that things won't change, and then here we have retirees, you know, with things changing, you know, and it's just like, why? Like I worked with the intention that I'd be taken care of, and now you're changing how I get that care.
Okay, so we're gonna go two more, and then can I say let's just pull it? Okay, so Sergio and Lee.
Well, I have a, you know, as a city retiree, somebody who probably would benefit from this, I'm very interested, right? As a community board member, as a city retiree, as a union man, you know, former delegate, I believe strongly. What concerns me is that, you know, the democratic process and the judicial process, they're both happening. They're happening. The unions have elections. They elect officers who negotiate for them. The court system, you know, has its remedies in it. So it's of concern, and I still don't have enough information to say that this is something that we need to do and we need to do now. I'm going to make a motion that we table this resolution until our next meeting at the very least, so we can become better informed. This is a substantial issue, and I agree with that, but I'm making a motion that we table this.
Isn't that a timing issue?
Is it time sensitive? I would think so. Okay, so we had a table and we had a second. It's a dead deal.
No, we have
let's vote if we're gonna sell out the retirees.
Vote on the table?
Yes.
Let's, okay, who wants to table this? Okay.
Okay, so can I just get everyone down? I got Scott is in favor of tabling. Okay, Sergio.
Motion.
Hold on. I have that to table in favor. Okay. I'm sorry, can everyone keep in favor to table up? Steve Fruit. Hold on. Sorry, I'm slow here. Rita, Bob Bender,
Sebastian.
Hold on. Sebastian. Wait, Rita Proctor. Where is she? Wait, let me get to Rita before I do this. Nick Fazio is in favor of tabling. Okay, I got Nick. I can't see. Oh, thank you, Emily. Okay. Emily. Wait a minute, Emily. Okay, anyone else? Carol?
Deborah.
Wait
a minute.
Hold on.
Let's do the in-person first. Just
so Georgia, you're in favor of tabling.
Deborah.
Wait a minute. Okay, Deb Travis?
Yes.
Yep, also in favor of tabling.
And I have fruit. Okay.
Anyone else?
Anyone else in favor on Zoom? Ingrid, you're in favor? Okay. This is table aging resolution. Okay. Okay, so is that's it? Wait, Georgia raised her hand, so we have her.
We got Deb.
Okay. Charles and Marty don't want to table.
Abstain.
Abstain, Charles? Okay, hold on. Charles Mogler abstains. Okay.
I recuse for cause.
Okay. So abstain with cause, is that what it's called?
No, he's present but ineligible to vote. Which is the same thing.
Can't vote. Okay. All right, so we have the in favors, we have the abstentions, and then you have to do the opposed.
Right, so how many is that?
So we just need everyone opposed to raise their hand. Okay. Lord. Opposed to tabling, of course. I just want to make sure I have everyone. So. Oh, all right, so Sylvia, right? Okay. Jillian, where is she? Oh, sorry. Constance is absent. Bob Bender already voted. Carol voted. Kelly, okay. Opposed. Chris Calhoun, yep. I had Sebastian already. Lee Chung, yep. Okay. Margaret,
opposed.
Yep. Robert Fanuzzi, okay. Nick, I have. Stephen Fruit, I have. David Gelman, opposed. Mary Ellen, opposed. Rosemary Ginty, opposed. Dr. Julia, she's absent. Ed Green, opposed. Emily Houseman, I have. Rashida. What are you? You can abstain, yes. Got you there. Robert Jaklowski, opposed. Barbara Kale, opposed. Rabbi Kaplan's absent. Josh? Abstain, okay. She's absent. Rita, did I have your vote, Rita?
Yes, you already had it.
I think no.
She was in favor of tabling.
You're in favor of tabling, right? Yeah. Oscar?
Yes, she had her name.
Okay, you're opposed, right? Okay. I got it.
Yes.
Then I have Omar opposed. Okay. Join that here. Julie opposed. Daniel Rowan opposed. Georgia, we have Jessica opposed. And Laura
opposed.
Okay. And then we have Marty Wolpov. Got to ask him to unmute. I believe he's, yeah. Yes,
I'm opposed to tabling, but just a point. I understand Chuck's reticence to vote on this issue, except this is not the issue. This is a vote to table, and therefore he doesn't have I don't know what conflict he has. On the issue, I know he may have a conflict, but not on tabling.
Charles, Chuck, do you want to?
I don't know if you can hear me, but let me make a point. I'm not going to speak to the merits, but Marty, can you hear me?
Yes.
There is something wrong with what has been said on one point. The resolution as phrased.
Is this a discussion?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Listen, we're in the middle of a vote.
May I just make a point of order? The resolution as phrased does not limit itself to bringing it to the floor, but explicitly directs or requests the councilman to take an affirmative vote on the measure. Unless you amend that, it will be a demand of the council members to take a vote. If that's what you want, that's fine. but that's not what was represented.
Okay, well, 20 people are opposed to tabling the vote, 3 abstained, and 12 are for tabling the vote.
So it's not, so now the resolution is before the board.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
You've accepted my
Yeah. I would like to speak to the resolution now that it's back on the floor.
okay, and then we.
Can I address Sergio's comment?
No, because we're gonna vote. We have to get out of here. It's 9 o'clock. We're just gonna vote on this. If it's gonna go to the council. We're just voting. We're just voting to see if it's gonna go, if we're asking the council to put it on the floor so they can vote. Go ahead, Steve.
No, you're asking Dinowitz to vote for it.
Right, we're asking not just Dinowitz, we're asking all 3 of our council people.
To vote affirmatively. Don't.
Okay, so then
Yeah,
you can
I'm
take that.
speaking to the resolution
Right.
now.
Okay, now you speak.
Because it's back on the floor. The tabling did not carry. Number one, Chuck is correct. The resolution does resolve that the board is asking the 3 council people
Right.
to vote in favor of the legislation, not merely to bring it to the floor.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, I don't know all of that, which is why I voted to table. However, what I do know is that the city, however the collective bargaining came down, whatever the former negotiations or commitments that were made, the city apparently has certain discretion to make this change in the health plan, okay? And so what the legislation is saying is that's the city is, we elect the mayor, we elect the council, and we, the citizens, and in this case, the citizens speaking through their community board, is saying to the city or saying to their council people, vote to bind the city to not take this cost-cutting measure. So that's it. I mean, there are other facts that would be interesting to know. I'd like to know what the court decisions say. I'd like to know, but at this moment, all that really you're being asked to say is, should the city exercise its discretion, which it apparently has, at least within the bounds of current court decisions, to make this change in the healthcare, which most of the 250,000 retirees feel would in some way lower the benefit that they had been expecting and experiencing. So it is that vote. You are saying to the city, don't take this action.
Lee? Go ahead, Lee.
I just wanted to clarify for Sergio, collective bargaining, you're curious about. Employees can do collective bargaining. Retirees have no authority to do collective bargaining. That's one. And the other thing that Ed Green brought up about the unions, if there's conflict, I think several people mentioned it. The problem with this is the MLC and the mayor made this decision. The MLC is a consortium of all the unions. The problem with it is there is not a one union, one vote. It's based on numbers. So the 2 unions that were supporting this, which was UFT, which has a hell of a lot of members, and the DC 37, they were the big supporters. Fire department didn't support this. The police department, EMT didn't support it. The little guys with the fewer numbers. So it was a weighted vote. That's why it moved forward. If it had been one union, one vote, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. And that's something people need to know.
Laura?
I applaud you, Lee, because I'm a retired UFT, and there is a civil war now going on because many unions rejected this and did not vote for it. And the big guys pushed for it. And now their members, UFT members, are going berserk. So, I mean, it's a civil war going on. It's very unfortunate, very unfair, and very underhanded. And that's why I am supporting bringing this to the floor and carrying a strong message.
Just a very brief comment. The child care union has also up outside of the CBA is also changing its healthcare option, which is in violation of the CBA. This is not going to be the only instance where this is happening. So this is, I mean, it's not just a nationwide thing. It's every neighbor who's ever worked in Head Start, child care, and name any of the other unions. Yeah.
You're trying to put us on state insurance. I go, all I go to work every day.
Bob?
Does a constituent board position require that we to leave because the issue was structured a clearer message and a more comprehensive position for us to just stick with the first.
That's what I was gonna say. So the resolution is to strongly urge. That's what we're
strongly urged to support or get out of committee on the floor.
No.
Yeah. And then what is the value of the second two?
There's different ways of saying we can amend it and take it. This vote is whether you're for it or against it. If you don't have enough information, you can abstain. But I would like to vote on this matter. As you can see, there's committee members that are very passionate about this and it actually affects. And if you're opposed, then be opposed. If you abstain, you don't have enough information. Yeah.
They should know that. They should understand that.
But if you don't have enough information, time to abstain, but let's vote on this, and one way or the other, let's have a result.
So he called the vote.
Okay.
Okay.
Call the question.
Call the question. Call the question. Okay.
Call the question. Answer.
Question.
Call the question.
Call the question.
I call the question.
Oh, I call the question.
Terminating the debate.
Yes. Call the question.
Okay.
You've done a great job.
Are
Your
there
first
any
chair.
abstentions? Stop.
Okay, I'm gonna just go down the list again. Okay.
Should we just do a roll call?
Yes.
Rather than
All right. Sylvia Alexander,
Are you for or against the
for the
resolution?
resolution? For it? Okay. Jillian Baez. For. Thank you. Constance Barnes, she's absent. Bob Bender.
Abstain.
Abstain. Carol Blake. Kelly Buford. Chris Calhoun. Sebastian. Lee Chang.
Yes, 4.
Of course. Ingrid De Leon. 4. Margaret Della.
4.
Where are you?
Hi.
Robert Fanuzzi.
In favor.
4. Nick Fazio. Stephen Fruit.
4.
David Gelman.
Aye. Higher nay. Higher nay.
4.
No, it's not. No,
Mary
it's not.
Ellen Gibbs.
4. Union strike.
Rosemary Ginty.
In favor.
Edward Green.
In favor.
Emily Houseman. Rashida Hilliard. Robert Jaklowski.
4.
Barbara Kale.
4.
Scott Crumpinger.
Abstain.
Josh Land. Okay. Rita Pacterla. Oscar Martinez. I wonder.
You gotta say.
Hard.
Let's
go. 4.
Okay. Chuck Modler.
Reluctantly recused.
Okay.
But he's with cause, right?
Recused with cause.
Right, so he's present and eligible to vote.
Ineligible to vote.
This way he
So it doesn't count for
Exactly.
anything. Okay. Omar Murray. Okay. Julie Reyes.
4.
Daniel Rowan.
4.
Georgia Santiago.
4.
Thank you. Jessica Sosa.
4.
Laura Spalter.
4.
Deb Travis.
4.
Sergio Villaverde.
Respectfully abstaining.
And Martin Walpoff.
4.
Okay. So you have 2, 9 abstentions and $25,400.
Did you count checks as Dennis?
No, I don't count them.
Just-
Yeah. So it
Okay.
passes, right?
All right. Come on, let's just take pictures. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so. Any other?
That's the end of my report.
The newest chair with the biggest
Right.
Debate.
Chaired the meeting. First time, congratulations.
Thank you. And our next meeting is
December 14th at 4 p.m.
Okay. Okay, we're halfway through the meeting. We must be out of here in 30 minutes tops. It's 9:10. I'm gonna start doing the timer. The next is budget.
Finish before you set the clock.
Okay, let's see.
As on another board I serve on, when there's no actual change to report, we say progress.
Thank you.
Still can't stand up. Shit.
Nick, Economic Development.
We'll just mute him.
Good
Yes.
evening, everyone. Nick Fowler, the Chair of Economic Development. Our last meeting was a joint meeting with the Land Use Committee on Monday, November 6th. Please refer to our forthcoming minutes. We had a presentation by Department of City Planning on the City of Yesford economic opportunity. I anticipate our next meeting will also be a joint meeting. There's a 650-page draft of the text amendments with notations. I know all my committee members and all the land use members have gone over it twice already, but in anticipation of the meeting in December, we are going to be asking folks to send in their comments and questions that we can send into DCT beforehand. It is not my want to opine during committee reports. However, I just want to say that I think we're all in agreement that some of the changes must be implemented for us to continue, us as a city, to continue to be competitive, economically speaking, and that some of the zoning is outdated. But we'll flesh that out in the next meeting. In the meantime, the Economic Development Committee conducted a commercial corridor walkthrough along Johnson Avenue, 235th Street, in partnership with Small Business Services, Business Extract Service Team, and the Bronx District Attorney's Office. I just want to thank Farah, Rashida, Chair Reyes, everyone that participated. We shared resources. We got lots of feedback from merchants, and it was very, very productive, and we're looking forward to another one in the not too distant future. Next, I have permanent outdoor dining. It is one of the emails in my inbox, but as I understand it, the regulations came out today. So I'm not sure if it's going to be on the Traffic and Transportation Committee's meeting on Thursday, but it is much anticipated. We've been waiting for this for a long time. And I'm just going to ask respectfully that I understand why, we understand as a committee, why this particular certification is going to go through TNT. But we want to ask the TNT committee consult with us to get an economic development perspective, not just in terms of parking and traffic flow and things like that, but to be able to look at the whole picture. I don't anticipate it's going to be a big problem. We only have a few that are remaining anyways. But the biggest issue for us is going to be to get the information out to the businesses so that they know what the regulations are, what the protocol is for them to apply, and so forth. And then last but not least, it was great to see all the business owners supporting the Veterans Day ceremony hosted by the Tree Army, this year's winner of the Betty Campbell Amherst Valuable Merchant Award. It was on Saturday at the Flagpole Veterans Park near the Bell Tower, and it was great to see so many businesses supporting. Many donated their time, many donated their money. It was a wonderful show of patriotism, so I want to thank all the businesses for coming together and supporting our veterans and showing their appreciation. That's my report. I'm happy to take any questions.
very briefly, was there also a ceremony at the Memorial Grove in Van Cortlandt Park, or is that just shifted for this year?
That's what Veterans Committee.
Oh, yeah, there was. Big one. Best ever.
Any other questions for Nick?
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, education, we have a resolution. Sylvia?
I don't know if you're gonna hear me or should I take the mic?
No, there's no mic, so.
No mic. Okay.
Project.
My meeting was on October 24th. We had the School Construction Authority do a presentation on a proposed primary school at Van Cortlandt Motel. And I'm going to rush it because we have to get this out by the 21st of November, a deadline that I have to keep. And we passed a resolution at our meeting after the public hearing. We had 30 people testifying at the public hearing, and I submitted this resolution to the office. They said that I needed to keep the education election of the approval of this on here, and I was not allowed to change the resolution just to have a vote from the board. I looked it up, or actually Rosemary helped me as far as the procedure that we have on the website that was created in 2019-2020 that specifies that when the resolution is presented to the board for a vote, it should have that written into the resolution. So I will just read. Well, first of all, they were all sent.
Let's do the resolution. Is this the resolution?
That is the resolution.
Okay, everybody received the resolution. Can you put it up a little bit?
Make it higher. So,
when was this distributed?
I would just like to
in the packets that you see.
Okay, Sylvia's going to read the resolution.
No, not the whole resolution.
Okay, so then read.
You're not going to have time.
Okay, so then.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Bronx Community Board 8 community residents and the Education, Library and Cultural Affairs Committee shall prepare written comments on site plans as received at our meeting prior to the 45-day limit, which is November 21st. Be it further resolved that the Community Board 8 be allowed to comment on the findings discovered through the State Environmental Quality Review before issue goes to the City Council for a vote, which did not happen at the visitation site. Be it further resolved that School Construction Authority returns to the Bronx Community Board 8 at the earliest possible time with a site plan including design, operational details, and information not available at this time. Be it resolved that the Community Board 8 believes that if all of the other requirements are acknowledged, Van Cortlandt Motel site is an appropriate site for the primary school. So I'd like the board to take a vote.
Do they own the site already?
Sylvia, Josh has a question.
Are they on the site?
What?
Do they own the site?
No, not yet. The School Construction Authority now has to negotiate for the DOE to buy the site.
But they need approval from the board and the Department of Education that we approve of the site, and then the sale will go through.
I went through this quickly, I've not seen it before. The last whereas, the third line, written comments on the plan. Was this ellipsis? or just a typo. Period. I don't know what's going on there. Seems like an incomplete sentence.
Where?
The last whereas, the third line, written comments on the second line.
That's the next to the last.
But is that an ellipsis?
It's more than three.
We would like to send our feelings to SBA so that.
No, I understand that, but what's written there
It's
looks
supposed
like
to be a
there's
period.
more information.
Just make it a period.
Is that just a typo? Yeah, okay.
Okay, Bob Bender, you had a question?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm totally in favor of this project. I want to say that right away. But I'm unclear on the committee shall prepare written comments. What written comments are you talking about?
Well, the people that, first of all, we were trying to get other people interested in the situation and to write comments. That if they couldn't get onto Zoom, they couldn't come to the meeting. So they have an opportunity to do it in writing.
So the written comments you're referring to are from people who want to comment on the issue, but were not at the meeting?
We're not available for the meeting.
And you have those comments and you're ready to post
I
them?
don't know, the office has not told me, but if there are any, I want to make sure that they are taken care of.
How about shall include written comments rather than shall prepare, because there's nothing that's unknown.
Well, it doesn't say anything about sending it to the SBA, so that would not really fit.
It's so big that I really don't know what it exactly is referring to. That's the problem I'm having.
Right.
Well, then we could change it to, I have to make sure that we have it voted on tonight. Because
No, I
we
understand
have
that,
the deadline to meet.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and I'll vote in favor of it. I'm totally in favor of it. I'm just,
Well, we
you know,
can say that we shall prepare written comments and send it to the SBA.
But I just like you to
within the 45 days.
Yeah, if you could just define what those written comments are, then I think we'd all understand it a little better. That's all I'm saying.
Bob, would it
Just
work
clarify.
if it said shall include written comments received by the office from members?
You mean
of
the
community?
public, from the
Something
public?
that specifies the comment. That's all. Something that specifies.
Instead
what
of
refers.
prepare, just
That's
take
all
out the
I'm
word
asking.
prepare.
Shall forward written comments from the community.
Right.
Yeah.
You did get
Forward.
Include forward the same thing. That's fine.
Excuse me,
Sarah,
Daniel?
can we include that?
It's a quote.
Written comments from the community is right. From the community.
Take out prepare.
Section.
Take out, prepare, and keep and submit.
That's where they want dots. They cut off the quote. You can't re-word the quote.
Oh, the end quote was not there.
There's not a beginning or end. You can't change it. It's coming from a quote. So we can't disagree with the quote.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It can be tweaked, but we can't really change.
Okay,
the-
any other questions?
We voted on them already.
Are there any other questions or comments?
One question then.
Okay.
Could you please keep quiet?
Is there anybody on Zoom? Okay, so.
Yeah, we unmuted on Zoom.
You
we
are
ready to
unmuted,
vote?
Zoom.
Is anyone opposed to this resolution? Anybody online?
No.
Anybody
No.
abstain? David abstains?
David.
That's the only one? And then everybody else is in favor of. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you.
With the change, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No?
I thought they were saying that it's pulled from a quote. No
they were
change.
saying-
No change.
No change.
You prepare.
What?
You can have quotes around it.
Yeah, as
Can't
you.
change it.
Point of order, may I suggest that Sylvia sit down with Farah and the chair, and just make that intelligible, so that the quote is the
They shall-
quote,
they
and
shall
there are
prepare.
quote marks where the quote marks should be, and if the point of that is that the SCA should please consider any comments made, which is what the point of that paragraph is.
Within a certain period of time, okay.
Don't look at me, Stephen. I don't know anything about it. I'm just trying to reflect the comments.
Okay, are there any other reports, Sylvia? That's it?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Good job.
Environment and sanitation?
So our committee is faced with a number of questions from community members about local construction and impacts of water runoff during construction and after construction. The biggest problem we're facing right now is at 305 West 232nd Street. This is the site of a charter school. The charter school is being built between Irvin and Tibbet Avenue. The reason our committee is becoming very involved here is because part of the application to build is to get rid of Tibbet's Brook. You may remember that DEP is daylighting the vestige of Tibbet's Brook. And so the applicant, the developer, has proposed to de-water the Brook, which is basically pipe out groundwater, which is the vestiges of Tibbet's Brook, onto another property. So this construction and the high groundwater level has caused all kinds of problems and damage for neighboring properties, most notably Tibbet Towers and 315 West 232nd Street. So we have very detailed questions about what DEP has authorized or can authorize or is still awaiting decision to authorize about this removing of water. We're also in touch with DOB about a stop work order because the buildings have been damaged. So I want to thank Sarah for just writing hard on this and really trying to get DOB to tell us what water damage has occurred. We are also very much getting cooperation from DEP on what is entailed in removing water and if it's feasible to do so. Our committee is really inclined to say, no, we do not want Tibbet's Brook piped into somebody else's property. So we'll go through the details and please come tomorrow where this, as well as the positive environmental impacts of the city of Yes for housing will be discussed. So you can see our meeting tomorrow. And thank you, Farrah, and thank you to all the co-op board members who have come and told us about their problems with flooding.
Thank you, Bob. Okay. Housing?
Thank you,
I'm
Madam
sorry.
Chair.
I'm sorry, skip. Health and hospitals. Is anyone here reporting on health and hospitals? Okay. Sorry, Rosemary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the interest of time, let me be quick here. The Housing Committee met for the first time this community board year on October 23rd. We set a series of items, kind of aspirational things we want to do for the remainder of the year and work on. I refer you to our minutes to see what items we kind of discussed and hope to work on during the year. I just want to highlight one. Those of you who haven't been on the board for 6 years will not know of this housing guide that was done in 2017 in English and in Spanish. Wonderful resource. We are going to update it. It's 6 years old. We're going to update it and get it ready for the community. Our next meeting is November 27th. At the suggestion of our chair, we are going to discuss a very slim portion of City of Yes economic development that affects specifically New York City Housing Authority developments and projects. So we'll have some of those representatives there and see what they're, I'm sure they're not aware of the proposal. We'll talk to them about how it affects their projects.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rosemary. Okay, now we have land use.
We met and spent most of the meeting focusing on City of Yes economic, jointly with the Economic Committee. And you've heard some of that from Nick. Let me point out one thing to you. There is a 600-page record that has to be read before you can properly comment on this. I promised myself I would try and do it before the next meeting. and if I can, I will. But there are clearly some holes in here that require comment. Some of them Nick pointed out. We're just going to have to do it. Conceptually, it's fine. Problem is, it does stuff that shouldn't be done, except under a EULA process, and that's wrong. Next meeting is December 4th. Oh, by the way, we're going to get the big zoning one and housing one probably within the next few weeks.
Charles, we have all of the resolutions that you voted on at the committee from previous meeting.
You want to put them up?
They're up.
Okay. Are we going to do those now? All right. Let me give you a few of them. One point that covers three of them. We unfortunately have an architect who, in a couple of these, who just did not put in the kind of information that was needed, or answer the questions, or serve the neighbors within 200 feet so that they would know whether or not they would support it and have an opportunity either to support it publicly or oppose it. For that reason, 3 of these were turned down because people just weren't told, and they were specifically asked at the prior meeting to do that. I offered on one of them, the one opposite Wave Hill, that in the event they were prepared to put the matter over for 30 days so that we could have a session with everybody notified, I would give them a rehearing. That offer was not accepted. Unfortunate, but there it is. So if you have the resolutions up, for some reason I'm not
Yeah,
seeing.
that's resolution 5, the 4,800 independents. There's 5 resolutions.
Would you do this for me, Farah? Can you just check off the ones in order, because I can't see them?
Well, let me just, do you want me to mention the 3 you just mentioned?
Yes.
Okay, so that's resolution 5, which was 4,800 independents. Then that was resolution 3, which was 680 West 232nd Street. And resolution 1, 4671 Grosvenor Avenue.
So let me do those last 2. The Grosvenor Avenue one should have sailed through. He just didn't tell the neighbors at all. He was asked specifically, didn't do it. And one neighbor found out somehow, came there and raised some questions. There was no preparation for it. The one opposite the Whitehall on 231st or 232nd Street raised all sorts of problems. There's a restrictive covenant on that the Supreme Court has enforced, state Supreme Court, that the state Supreme Court said is enforceable. It requires single-family homes. What they propose to do here is put a school with some potential dormitory space there. And the people in the Whitehall went crazy because, and with good cause, I think, of the traffic problems caused by the location right at the intersection. Those 3, I would suggest, or would ask permission, we put them on the floor as one item.
Okay. So
Unless there's objection.
Yes, Steve?
There's a typographical error, which is important.
Okay.
3. There's the letter capital D is missing from disapproves.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
It reads is approved.
Yeah, that was okay.
It's approved.
It's approved. We will fix that. It should say disapproved.
Disapproved.
So
Yes.
5, 3, and 1. Any other comments? We'll lump them together. And on those 3, they were in favor.
In favor means
In favor of not
disapprove.
Right.
disapprove, correct.
Okay, so
Why are we just voting for them?
Because the other 2 are approved.
Okay, so those, yeah, we're bundling 3, 5, and 1.
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
I respectfully move them.
Okay, so then, is anyone we're voting on now? Any discussion before we vote? Okay, so any abstentions on the vote?
This is a vote on the bundle?
Yes, on 5, 3, and 1. You said 5, 3, and 1.
1, 3, and 5. Yes.
Right. I go backwards. I don't know. So,
sorry, just the clarification. We're
Bundle.
voting on the action of bundling them together,
Yes.
not on the entire
no,
bundle.
we're just voting on 5, 3, and 1. We're putting them together.
If you want to do them separately, that's
Not
fine.
really, 'cause we have
I
to
was
be out.
just trying to meet the deadline.
We have to be out of here in 25 minutes, and we still have to vote on a higher read that we desperately need.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's speed this up and let's get out of here. So we're gonna vote on this, yes?
Vote on what?
Bundling.
Bundling. On the action of bundling,
Yes.
or on the actual items?
Okay. Items number 3, 5, and 1, which the committee opposed because the man didn't do his job, to be quite honest. So
By the way, the vote was unanimous.
from the vote, anyone in favor?
I would say anyone opposed.
Anyone disapprove the resolution?
No, it's a resolution to disapprove. So we are voting to approve the resolution.
Correct.
Which is to turn down
Correct.
these 3 applications.
Right.
Is anyone opposed over there?
To the resolution, that's right.
There is.
Opposed to the resolution. Okay, no abstentions, no opposed, so everyone goes with the committee and they're in favor of disapproving it. Okay, so that's.
Thank you. Now, Farah, can I have number 2, please?
Yes, so number 2 is the SNAD application. This is for 695 West 246th Street, and they agreed to the clause of conditions to keep construction vehicles inside the property.
And the committee voted in favor, 10 voted in favor of this. They're putting in a sunroom and a swimming pool. Is anyone abstaining from this vote? Anyone opposed? Everyone's in favor. Okay, so they can have their pool and their sunroom. The last.
4.
Chuck, yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4 is the 331 West 250th Fieldston Historic District, and that was for the LPC for, I believe, redoing the windows, replace the sunroom infill.
It's a minor alteration. Nobody seems to have any problem with it. The only issue came up where the FPOA had looked at it. FPOA had been given the opportunity and didn't act.
Right. So this is something that was built in 1918, 1919. They're going to replace it. The committee voted all in favor, but no abstentions. So does anyone abstain on this vote? Anyone opposed? So then all in favor. Thank you. Thank you, Chuck.
My apologies.
Meeting with economic. So the next, thank you, Chuck. So the next committee is Special Committee on the Hudson River Greenway.
No report.
Thank you, Bob. Committee from SCREE, Special Committee.
We had a meeting on November 2nd, in which the committee members wanted to express our statement of values, which has typically been on the website. For some reason during the transition we've lost it, but it will be reposted, and if anyone needs that, I can certainly share it. But also that SCREE is working on a statement to underscore our value statement, especially in the climate of anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim, anti-Islamic actions, and certainly the community board district office requests that community members who may be enduring discrimination, bigotry, and certainly violence report that to the office and to the 50th Police Precinct where appropriate. And certainly we want to see ourselves in how we are upholding our code of conduct, how we're treating each other. We set the tone within the community. We are the community, and so Scree will be sharing that statement shortly. We also discussed some of the priorities that we have for the year ahead, and wanting to work with a few committees, especially law, rules, and ethics, on finding education and resources where those who may endure discrimination, where they can go for information and to redress discrimination. Also for us to be able to do our part to support community members and to take action where necessary. I think that more or less covers it.
Thank you, Margaret. Questions? Okay, Committee on the Committee on Veteran Services. Sergio?
Thank you. I will refer everyone to our minutes. We had an outstanding meeting with Deputy Commissioner of DVS, Ellen Green. And if you know any veterans at all, please have them contact the city. There's a wealth of information and benefits, including like a Shark Tank small business incubator that they have that we found out about. We did have to answer your question, we did have our Memorial Grove event on November 5th. It was successful by all accounts, the biggest and best event that we've had. It's grown every year. We had the borough president was present this year, the district attorney, Sabrina Dinowitz, Councilmember Dinowitz, Commissioner James Hendon of the city Department of Veterans Services. I do have to really give a special shout out and thank you to all of the people who participated and made the ceremony unique. It doesn't appear we're going to be able to send out formal thank you, so I'll do it here. We had Rabbi Bracha Jaffe, who gave our invitation. Boy Scout Troop 240 came out again. They led us in the Pledge of Allegiance as well as a salute. We had Manhattan College, their color guard and cadets, which always makes this a special event for anybody who's ever been there. And cadets Jason Matarazzo, Jeffrey Grazia, Benovia Mays, Cesar Tavares Vasquez, all made up the color guard, which made the event very special. I thank all of the members of the community board and the public who were there. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And our next meeting is whenever the board gives me a date that I requested.
We'll get that tomorrow.
Okay, next item, discussion on executive committee meetings, executive committee minutes of October 4th and November 1st. Any discussions? Okay, we'll go on to the next item. Item number 12, approval of the board minutes of October. Unfortunately, they're still not prepared. We have to wait on a staffer to prepare the minutes. They're just not ready yet. My apologies. Okay, miscellaneous business. Does anyone have any miscellaneous? Our next meeting is December 12th. And from here, I am going to make a motion to go into executive session based on Open Meetings Law 105F, governing the hiring of personnel. And so then any you second? Okay, so then any abstentions? Opposed? Everyone approves. Okay, I want to thank everybody who came tonight. We're just going to go offline for the.
And do we have anyone left in the waiting room? I don't think so. If you go to participants, maybe it was the same. Oh yeah, maybe we can open it all. Okay.
Anybody in the waiting room?
Yes.
Oh wow.
They're joining back.
Laura.
We're recording.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got to stop share. Oh no, I don't need to stop share. Right. Okay.
Okay, Laura.
I move the question.
Second.
Okay, so with the resolution, are there any abstentions on hiring? Are there any opposed? So then all in favor of our new community coordinator?
Aye.
Oh wait, are we here from the from Zoom? Is everyone good?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ardmere.
Congratulations.
Just so you know, he is set to start November 16th. As long as all the paperwork is filled out. So that's what we're hoping for, that he'll start in a few days.
And just to know, he started this today helping us out. So, but welcome.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Okay.
I would just like to commend Farah, who has been working almost entirely by herself since we hired her. And it has been a tremendous burden, and I think she has executed it beautifully. And I just want to thank you, Farah.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad you're happy with your hire. Thank you.
Okay.
And the support here has been great. So thank you.
No, any opposed, any abstentions? So all in favor. Have a good holiday, everybody.
Sergio?
Farah, I sent you the
I'm gonna